Day 12. Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and this is the Colonel's Journal for Day 12 in Eco. We have only 18 days to go until the meteor is going to impact and destroy the place, so I thought it was about time I put my fields in order. We start out in the Camas field today, which is an important one because it's the first field that I actually managed to get to the point of sustainability. Somehow I managed to fluke getting these guys planted in a place where they were actually very suited to grow, and that's largely what led to the population of the town being able to live largely on a diet of camas mash and camas bulbs and charred camas and camas soup for so long. But yes, it's important that I get my fields back in order because I'm about to hand them all over. So I'm going for one last harvest, as Tolokram has now got himself to the position where he can probably take over all farming responsibilities, which means that I, in turn, can get my skill points back. And those skill points are going to come in all useful, because getting advanced cooking and the ability to work with liquid nitrogen is on the table, and that sounds jolly exciting and incredibly safe. So today we're going to be taking a trip around the world to see some of the fields that I have created over time in order to just get them shipshape, make one final harvest before unclaiming all the land and passing it over to the town's new farmer. I'll be a little bit sad to see it go, to be honest. Having found suitable places for a variety of crops has been quite a challenge, and now that everything's actually growing, I'll be a little sad to see the fruits of those labours go to one side. But greater profits await, and more time spent in the kitchen on more luxurious recipes are well ahead of me. And as such, I invite you to come on this brief tour of a world shortly to be impacted by a meteor. In a bid to ensure that all the crops that I'll ever need are in free supply, over the course of my career as a farmer within Eco, I have travelled around the entire globe. You may think that's something of an exaggeration. I can assure you it is not. In order to find places to plant the likes of rice and beans and fiddleheads and corn and wheat and tomatoes and beets and camas there, which I think that's the full list. Actually, I might be the full list. Oh, huckleberries. Yeah, it's got a huckleberry settlement somewhere. Would you call it a settlement? Field? I don't know. Whatever it is, call it that. Yes, in order to ensure that I've always got everything that I could possibly need in store, over the course of the 12, 13 days that we've been in operation here, I have travelled the entire globe looking for suitable locations. And this particular area, this desert, has always proved to be a bit of a stumbling block in my travels, because there's several ravines that you have to cross, and every time I come out here I end up carving a little bit more land out in order to try and make some steps, but I can never seem to find them again when I visit on supplement occasions, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's quite a nice trip, and one of the limitations I suppose of Eco is that you do tend to get a little bit stuck in the weeds with regard to your own profession. So it's very likely you end up staying home a lot of the time to work on whatever it is that you're contributing towards the overall success of mission Smash the Meteor. So here we are at the beans field. As you can see, we've got a good crop waiting to go, and we'll just fill this out and then soak in the sunrise, I suppose. I mean, I've waypointed absolutely everything, but my aim is going to be to hand all of this over and retire from farming, so that I can focus on the more advanced side of cookery. And as you take on more skills, the cost of acquiring them becomes ever more expensive, and therefore sometimes relinquishing skills that you have previously enjoyed and flourished using becomes something that is, well, it's pretty necessary. Where's all my rice gone? I'm pretty sure I had quite a lot of rice here. Oh well, let's get some planted anyway. Yeah, I could have sworn I had more rice in that paddy. I've got all of the... I've claimed all of this land, so nobody else should be able to interfere with it. I have seen nature's bounteous wildlife occasionally interfering with my fields, but no, for them to clean it out is highly unusual. Here's the tomato field, such as it is. This tends to grow reasonably well, but we're possibly a little early for that today. But I always like to leave at least 1 or 2 plants fully grown because they will then spread to the surrounding area. Now then, when you're out on an adventure such as this one, taking in the entire world, it's important that you keep yourself well fed, and as much as you can eat the profits of the earth, let's say, so the stuff that you've been harvesting. You can eat that to keep you sustained as you go for a trip. What's actually better is to take something with you, and I advocate bannock. It's kind of a flatbread wheat pancake, I guess you'd call it, and that's going to be today's recipe. So get your pens at the handy because we're going to run through that now. So in order to craft a bannock, to cook a bannock, you don't really craft food, do you? You cook it. This is no organic restaurant we're talking about here. This is good, wholesome food to keep anybody sustained as the end of the world approaches, and you're going to want a good meal inside you to do it. Let's get to the recipe. So you're going to need some wheat. I know we've not really dealt with wheat too much. Now that you do have the option to turn that wheat into flour, which can then be turned into bread and so forth. But I didn't have the skill points for that. So, but the humble bannock is a calorific superstar, and will certainly keep your carbs up as you make progress around the world. So you're going to need a bunch of wheat, and then to add with that, you're going to need some tallow. Tallow, of course, the byproduct from cooking up various pieces of scrap animal and charging a premium rate for them. Once you've got your wheat and your tallow, smear the tallow all over the wheat until you've got some pasty, wheaty, tallowy goodness going on. Then bung it on a campfire and set fire to it. Oh yeah, it's a good one. And then shortly after that, bada bing. Yes, bada bing indeed reveals that you have magnificent pancakes available. And because they look like pancakes, people are prepared to pay a premium price for them. And you should certainly lean into that skid as it turns up and charge whatever you feel you should get away with. Now, it does use 30 wheat by default, so you're going to want a wheat field like this one. I try and grow wheat and corn together because they do tend to enjoy the same kind of atmospheric environment. You may prefer to segregate them, but I like a mixed arable community wherever possible. Anyway, the corn is probably my greatest success that I've had so far, which is why so many people live on the charred corn. And maybe we'll look into doing a sophisticated corn recipe in the future for you to get to grips with. Anyway, I'm going to be quite sad to see this lot go. I've gradually got a feel for exactly where they are, waypoints notwithstanding, and the way back to my encampment from here is to actually swim across the major sea, which you're not going to do unless you've got a good wheaty bannock inside you. Anyway, that will more or less wrap it up for day 12. We are making progress, I'm reliably informed. Somebody said that they'd started drilling for oil, which I'm sure Mother Earth is going to be incredibly grateful for. Anyway, I'm Colonel Failure. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one, and leave a like if you enjoyed today's recipe. I'll be back tomorrow with some more of the same. Cheerio!